Imagine waking up one day and realizing that everything you've ever known, your habits, your thoughts, your beliefs, has been keeping you in the same cycle, repeating the same emotions, living the same reality. You want change, you dream of something greater, but every time you try to move forward, something pulls you back. It's not the world around you that is holding you back. It's your own mind, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you react. It has all been programmed by your past. And as long as you continue to live by that past, you will keep creating the same future. But what if you could break free? What if you could step into a new reality, one that is not dictated by old patterns, but by your own conscious creation? What if right now, in this very moment, you could tap into a power within you that is greater than anything you've ever imagined? The truth is, you can. But first, you must let go of everything you think you know. You must step into the unknown, into the space where transformation happens. And when you do, you will discover that you are far more powerful than you have ever believed. Your mind is the architect of your reality. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every belief you hold is shaping your future, moment by moment. Most people wake up each day and immediately fall into the familiar patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving that they have repeated for years. They recall yesterday's worries, relive past disappointments, and anticipate the same predictable outcomes. Without realizing it, they are reinforcing the very reality they wish to change. The reason is simple. The brain is a record of the past. If you continue to think the same way, you will continue to produce the same results. The brain is constantly rewiring itself based on the thoughts you think most frequently. When you repeatedly focus on stress, lack, or fear, your neurons strengthen those pathways, making it easier to default to those emotions in the future. The body follows the mind, and over time, these habitual thoughts and feelings become ingrained, turning into unconscious programs. This is why change can feel so difficult. You are not just trying to think differently, you are rewiring your entire neurological structure. Most people believe that their circumstances define their thoughts and emotions. They look at their external world, see lack, difficulty, or limitation, and respond accordingly. But this is an illusion. The truth is, your internal state, your thoughts and emotions, are what shape your external reality. The world outside of you is simply a reflection of what is happening within you. If you wake up and immediately focus on problems, your brain begins scanning your environment for more evidence to confirm your expectations. If you dwell on past failures, your body replays the chemical signals associated with disappointment, reinforcing that emotional state. To break this cycle, you must first become aware of your own thoughts. This requires stepping out of unconscious programming and observing your mind without judgment. Begin to notice the stories you tell yourself, the emotions that arise habitually, and the limiting beliefs that have shaped your life. Are your thoughts empowering you, or are they keeping you in a loop of the same experiences? Awareness is the first step to change. Once you recognize the patterns that have held you back, you must consciously begin to shift them. This means no longer allowing external circumstances to dictate your internal state. Instead of reacting to the world around you, start generating emotions and thoughts that align with the life you desire. If you want abundance, you must think, feel, and act as if you are already abundant. If you desire love, you must cultivate feelings of love within yourself first. The external world will always mirror your internal state. The science behind this is profound. When you think a new thought and pair it with a strong, elevated emotion, you begin to activate new neural pathways in the brain. Over time, through repetition, these pathways strengthen, creating a new default state. The brain, once wired for survival, stress, and limitation, can be rewired for expansion, joy, and limitless potential. Emotion is the key to this transformation. The mind can think one thing, but if the body does not feel it, change will not occur. This is why people struggle with affirmations. They may say positive words, but if they do not feel the emotions behind them, the brain does not register them as real. To create lasting change, you must feel the future before it arrives. You must teach your body what it feels like to be successful, healthy, and fulfilled before any external evidence appears. The moment you consistently embody these elevated emotions, you shift your energy and reality begins to reorganize itself to match your new state of being. Most people wait for success to feel confident. They wait for love to feel worthy. They wait for healing to feel whole. But waiting is the greatest illusion of all. You are not meant to passively observe life. You are meant to create it. When you stop reacting to the old reality and start generating a new one from within, you become the master of your mind rather than its servant. The world will no longer dictate who you are. You will. As you begin to practice this daily, you will notice small but undeniable shifts. Situations that once triggered stress will no longer affect you in the same way. Opportunities will appear where there were none before. People will respond to you differently. This is not luck or coincidence. This is the power of a mind that has learned to create rather than react. Your thoughts are not random. They are instructions sent to the field of possibility. When you direct them with clarity and conviction, they become the blueprint for your future. Your mind is your greatest tool, and the moment you take control of it, you take control of your life. The question is, what reality will you choose to create? To change your life, you must break the habit of being your old self. Most people wake up every day and immediately step into the same version of themselves that they have always been. They think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and follow the same routine. Without realizing it, they are living in a predictable loop, repeating yesterday over and over again. The mind and body become so accustomed to this pattern that change begins to feel impossible. But change is not only possible, it is a scientific fact that your brain and body are capable of transformation when you make a conscious effort to break free from your old self. Your personality is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. If you want to create a new reality, you cannot do so by thinking, acting, and feeling the same way you did yesterday. The brain is like a record of the past, and every time you revisit familiar thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, you reinforce the neural circuits associated with your old identity. This is why change feels difficult. It requires disrupting these well-worn patterns and consciously creating new ones. The body does not know the difference between a real experience and one that is vividly imagined. When you constantly think about your past, you produce the same emotional states that accompanied those past experiences. If your past was filled with stress, anxiety, or unworthiness, then every time you recall those memories, your body relives them as if they are happening in the present moment. This keeps you biologically locked in your old identity. Your thoughts create emotions, and your emotions reinforce those same thoughts, trapping you in a cycle of your own making. To break the habit of being your old self, you must first become aware of your unconscious programs. Most people are unaware that they are thinking the same thoughts every day. They believe they are making conscious choices, but in reality, they are operating from a set of automatic habits and deeply ingrained beliefs. If you wake up and immediately check your phone, worry about the future, or dwell on the past, you are not creating anything new. You are simply running an old program. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. When you begin to observe your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors from a place of detachment, you gain the power to change them. Once you recognize the patterns that define your old self, you must make a conscious decision to break them. This means interrupting the automatic programs that run your life. If you normally wake up feeling stressed, you must choose to start your day differently. If you habitually react to situations with frustration or doubt, you must replace those reactions with a new response. This is not just about positive thinking. It is about rewiring your brain to align with a different reality. You must think greater than your environment, greater than your emotions, and greater than the habits of your past. One of the most effective ways to break old patterns is to create new ones through intention and emotion. The brain changes when it is given new information, but it transforms when that information is paired with strong, elevated emotions. If you want to become confident, you must not only think confident thoughts, but also feel the emotions of confidence before any external evidence appears. If you want to experience abundance, you must train your body to feel abundant even before your circumstances change. The moment you successfully shift your internal state, you send a powerful signal to your brain and body that a new reality is already unfolding. The challenge is that the old self will resist. your body, conditioned by years of repetitive emotional experiences, will try to pull you back into familiar states. It will make you feel uncomfortable, uncertain, or even fearful when you step outside of the known. This is because the body has been programmed to match the emotions of the past. And when you begin to change, it will crave the familiar. But if you can recognize these feelings as part of the process rather than as signs to stop, you will push through the discomfort and create new neurological connections that support your transformation. Breaking the habit of being your old self is not about forcing change through willpower alone. It is about becoming conscious of who you no longer wish to be and making a deliberate effort to step into the person you want to become. This requires consistency. You must show up every day and choose thoughts, emotions, and actions that align with your desired future rather than your familiar past. When you do this repeatedly, your brain begins to rewire itself. Your body starts to respond to new emotions, and your reality shifts to reflect the new energy you are embodying. Most people wait for their external world to change before they feel different. They wait for success to feel worthy, for love to feel whole, for abundance to feel secure. But waiting is the very thing that keeps them stuck. True transformation happens when you decide that you will no longer be defined by your past, that you will no longer allow old emotions to dictate your future. When you make that decision and follow it with action, you become the creator of your reality rather than the product of your history. Living in the future you desire now is the key to transforming your life. Most people believe that their external circumstances must change before they can feel happiness, success, or abundance. They think, when I get that job, I will feel secure. When I meet the right person, I will feel loved. When I achieve my goal, I will finally be fulfilled. But this way of thinking keeps them trapped in a cycle of waiting, always looking to something outside of themselves to create internal change. The truth is, reality does not work that way. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. And if you want to experience a different future, you must begin by emotionally and mentally aligning with it now. Your brain does not know the difference between a real experience and one that is vividly imagined. Neuroscience has shown that when you repeatedly focus on a thought and infuse it with strong emotions, your brain begins to wire itself as if that future has already happened. The same neural circuits that fire when you experience success in reality can be activated by simply closing your eyes and feeling that success internally. The problem is, most people are emotionally conditioned by their past rather than their future. They spend their days remembering old traumas, reliving past failures, or dwelling on what they lack. Each time they do this, they reinforce the same neurological pathways and create the same emotional states that keep them stuck in their current reality. If you want to change your life, you must begin by thinking and feeling beyond your present circumstances. This means shifting your attention away from what is and placing it on what could be. Instead of reacting to life, you must become a creator of it. Your thoughts, emotions, and energy must reflect the reality you desire before it physically manifests. You cannot wait for your external world to change first. Your internal world must change first. This is the fundamental difference between those who transform their lives and those who remain stuck. Imagine waking up every morning and instead of focusing on your problems, you direct your mind to your vision of the future. You see yourself as the person you wish to become. You feel gratitude as if your dreams have already come true. You embody confidence, abundance, and success, not because you are waiting for something to happen, but because you have decided to live in that emotional state now. This is how you signal to your brain and body that a new reality is on its way. When you do this repeatedly, your brain starts to rewire itself and your energy begins to shift. The universe, responding to this energetic shift, starts rearranging events, people, and opportunities to match the frequency you are broadcasting. One of the biggest obstacles to this process is the pull of the familiar. The body, conditioned by years of habitual emotions, wants to return to what it knows. If you are used to feeling stressed, anxious, or doubtful, your body will crave those emotions, even if they do not serve you. This is why, when you begin to elevate your emotional state, you may feel resistance. Your mind may try to convince you that change is not possible, that your circumstances are too difficult, or that the future you desire is unrealistic, but this is just the old self trying to maintain control. If you can push past this resistance and continue to emotionally invest in your future self, you will break free from the past and step into a new reality. Another critical aspect of living in the future now is emotional alignment. It is not enough to simply visualize your goals, you must feel the emotions associated with them. If you want financial abundance, you must feel the security and freedom of having it, even before it arrives. If you desire love, you must generate the feelings of love and wholeness within yourself first. This is not pretending or wishful thinking. It is training your brain and body to become familiar with the new reality before it manifests. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes, and eventually your external world begins to reflect the internal state you have cultivated. People who live in survival mode, constantly reacting to their environment, remain stuck because they are always waiting for something outside of them to change. But those who understand that they are the creators of their reality take control of their thoughts, emotions, and energy. They do not wait for success, happiness, or love to find them. They become success, happiness, and love first. And because they are no longer emitting the energy of lack or need, they attract the very experiences they desire. When you fully commit to this practice, you will start to notice subtle yet powerful changes. You will feel lighter, more confident, and more in tune with life. Synchronicities will begin to appear. Opportunities you never expected will find their way to you. People will respond to you differently. This is not magic or luck. It is the natural consequence of aligning your internal state with the reality you wish to create. The moment you stop living in the emotional past and start embodying your future self, the world around you will shift to match the new energy you are radiating. The power of the present moment is the key to transformation. Most people live either in the past or in the future, rarely fully immersing themselves in the now. They wake up and immediately start thinking about yesterday. What went wrong, what could have been different, and what emotions were triggered. If they are not caught up in the past, they are anxiously anticipating the future, worrying about what might go wrong, stressing about things that have not yet happened, and projecting their fears onto the unknown. In both cases, their mind is everywhere except the only place where real change can happen, the present moment. The mind has been conditioned to operate this way because it is wired for survival. The brain's primary function is to predict and protect. It constantly scans the environment for threats, referencing past experiences to prepare for potential dangers. This is a useful mechanism for staying alive, but it also keeps people trapped in repetitive cycles. When the mind is fixated on the past, it continuously produces the same emotions and reactions, reinforcing old patterns. When it is consumed by the future, it generates anxiety and uncertainty. Neither state allows for true transformation because real change can only take place when a person is fully conscious in the present moment. When someone is fully present, they step outside of the habitual programs that have been running their life. They are no longer reacting based on old emotions or anticipating stressors that have not yet occurred. They are simply here, in the now, with an open awareness of their thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. This state of presence creates space to choose new thoughts, to respond differently, and to break the automatic cycles of the past. It is in this space that transformation becomes possible. The moment someone becomes conscious of their own patterns, they gain the power to change them. The body, however, resists this level of awareness. It has been conditioned by years of emotional repetition, making it difficult to remain present. If someone has lived in stress for most of their life, their body has memorized that state. Even if there is no immediate threat, their body will seek out familiar stressors to keep them in the emotional state it knows best. This is why people find themselves caught in the same patterns, worrying about the same problems, reacting to life in the same way, and experiencing the same emotions day after day. They may want change, but their body is still biologically wired to operate from the past. To truly step into the power of the present moment, a person must become aware of these unconscious tendencies. They must recognize when their mind is drifting into old memories or anxiously projecting into the future. The key is to bring attention back to the now. One of the most effective ways to do this is through breath and awareness. When someone consciously breathes, they shift their focus away from the mind's endless chatter and into their body. The simple act of paying attention to the breath anchors them in the present. Another way to enter the present moment is through intentional observation. Instead of getting lost in thoughts, a person can shift their awareness to their surroundings, noticing the details of what is happening right now, the sounds, the colors, the sensations. This practice interrupts the brain's tendency to default to past programming and reorients it to the present. The more often this is done, the more the brain begins to rewire itself to function in a state of conscious awareness rather than automatic reaction. Living in the present also requires emotional mastery. Most people are emotionally reactive, allowing their external circumstances to dictate how they feel. If something good happens, they feel happy. If something goes wrong, they feel frustrated or discouraged. But when a person is fully present, they realize that they have the power to choose their emotional state regardless of external conditions. Instead of waiting for something outside of them to make them feel good, they generate elevated emotions from within. They do not allow old wounds to dictate their responses, nor do they give their power away to an uncertain future. The ability to remain present is also essential for manifesting a new future. If someone is constantly operating from the emotions of their past, they are broadcasting the same energetic frequency into the quantum field, attracting more of the same experiences. But when they step into the present and elevate their emotional state, they send out a new signal, one that aligns with the future they desire rather than the past they wish to leave behind. This shift changes their energy, and when energy changes, reality follows. The challenge is that the mind will always try to pull a person back into familiar patterns. Thoughts of the past will arise, worries about the future will surface. The key is not to resist them, but to become aware of them. When someone notices their mind drifting, they can gently bring their focus back to the now. The more often they do this, the more natural it becomes. Over time, presence becomes a way of being rather than something they must constantly work at. In this state of presence, creativity expands, intuition becomes stronger, stress dissolves, opportunities that were previously unseen begin to appear. The mind is no longer clouded by repetitive thoughts, and a person becomes more receptive to inspiration and insight. This is the space where true transformation takes place. Not in the past, not in the future, but in the only place that ever truly exists, the present moment. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions a person can cultivate. It is not just a reaction to receiving something good. It is a state of being, an elevated energy that can transform one's mind, body, and external reality. Most people wait until something positive happens before they feel grateful. They believe that gratitude is a response to circumstances rather than a tool to create new ones. But the truth is, gratitude is the key to attracting more of what one desires. When a person learns to generate gratitude before anything in their external world changes, they activate a profound shift in their energy, one that aligns them with the future they want to create. The brain does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. When someone truly feels gratitude, as though their desired reality has already happened, their brain begins to rewire itself to reflect that new state of being. The neural circuits associated with stress, fear, and lack start to weaken, while new pathways that support abundance, joy, and fulfillment begin to strengthen. This is why gratitude is so transformative. It is not just a feel-good emotion, but a biological and neurological process that changes a person from the inside out. When someone expresses gratitude, they shift their focus away from what is missing in their life and toward what is already present. Most people are conditioned to focus on problems, on what they do not have, on what is wrong in their lives. This constant attention to lack reinforces the same emotional states and thought patterns that keep them stuck. But the moment they begin to focus on what they do have and deeply appreciate it, they send a powerful signal to their brain and body that they are already abundant. This shift in perception is more than just positive thinking. It is an energetic transformation that begins to reshape their external world. Gratitude is also one of the fastest ways to change emotional states. The body has been conditioned by years of habitual emotions, and for many people, stress, anxiety, and worry have become familiar. Even when external circumstances are stable, they find themselves returning to these low frequency emotions because their body has memorized them. But gratitude can override this conditioning. When a person deliberately generates the feeling of gratitude, they begin to break the cycle of negative emotional patterns. The body, which is always responding to emotions, starts to experience a new biochemical environment, one that supports healing, clarity, and expansion rather than survival and contraction. When gratitude is deeply felt, it is not just a mental exercise, it is a full body experience. The heart opens, the mind quiets, and the nervous system moves from a state of stress into a state of balance. Research has shown that when people practice gratitude consistently, their heart rate variability improves, their immune function strengthens, and their stress hormones decrease. This is not coincidence, it is science. The human body is designed to thrive in states of love, appreciation, and joy, and gratitude is the gateway to these elevated emotions. Another profound effect of gratitude is its ability to shift energy in the quantum field. Everything in the universe is made of energy, including thoughts and emotions. When a person feels gratitude, they emit a frequency that attracts similar frequencies. This is why people who live in a state of gratitude often experience more synchronicities, opportunities, and abundance. They are no longer broadcasting a signal of lack, but rather one of fullness and wholeness. The universe responds accordingly, aligning them with experiences that match their elevated state. The challenge is that many people find it difficult to feel gratitude when their external circumstances do not reflect what they want. They say, I will be grateful when I have more money, or I will feel thankful when I have the right relationship. But waiting for circumstances to change before feeling gratitude is the very thing that keeps those circumstances from changing. The key is to feel grateful before the evidence appears, to generate the emotion as if the desired outcome has already occurred. This is what separates those who consciously create their reality from those who remain stuck in patterns of lack and limitation. One way to cultivate gratitude is through intentional practice. This means setting aside time each day to focus on what one is grateful for, not just listing things mentally, but deeply feeling the emotions associated with them. The more intense the emotion, the stronger the signal sent to the brain and body. Another powerful practice is to visualize a desired future while simultaneously feeling gratitude as if it has already happened. This is a form of mental rehearsal that trains the brain and body to believe in a new reality before it materializes. Gratitude is not just about attracting external rewards. It is about transforming from within. It is about shifting from a state of lack to a state of abundance, from stress to ease, from survival to creation. It is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools for rewiring the brain, elevating emotions, and aligning with the life one truly desires. It is not just a reaction to life's gifts. It is the force that calls them into existence. Surrendering to the unknown is one of the most difficult yet transformative shifts a person can make. The human mind craves certainty, always searching for patterns, explanations, and control over the future. It wants to predict outcomes, minimize risks, and hold on to what is familiar, even if the familiar is uncomfortable or limiting. But true transformation does not happen through control. It happens letting go of the need to know exactly how life will unfold, creates space for the unimaginable, for possibilities that the conscious mind cannot yet perceive. Most people resist the unknown because they associate it with danger. The brain is wired for survival, and anything unfamiliar is perceived as a potential threat. This is why people hold on to old identities, relationships, jobs, and habits, even when they know they are not aligned with their highest potential. The fear of stepping into uncertainty feels greater than the discomfort of staying the same. But what they fail to realize is that clinging to the known keeps them trapped in a predictable reality. The same thoughts, the same emotions, the same choices, all leading to the same experiences. To create a new reality, a person must be willing to step into the unknown. This means breaking free from the illusion of control and trusting in a greater intelligence, one that orchestrates life in ways far beyond human comprehension. The mind can only see a fraction of what is possible, filtering reality through the lens of past experiences and limited beliefs. But beyond the conscious mind exists an infinite field of possibilities, where new opportunities, synchronicities, and breakthroughs are waiting. The only way to access this field is by surrendering, by letting go of rigid expectations and allowing life to unfold naturally. The act of surrender does not mean passivity or inaction. It is not about giving up or waiting for life to happen. It is about shifting from force to flow, from resistance to trust. When someone is constantly trying to control every detail of their life, they operate from stress and contraction. They are in a state of resistance, blocking new possibilities from entering their experience. But when they surrender, they shift into a state of openness, where they can recognize and receive what is meant for them. One of the most profound aspects of surrender is the realization that uncertainty is not the enemy. It is the space where transformation happens. Every breakthrough, every moment of growth, every significant change occurs in the unknown. When a person clings to what is familiar, they remain confined to their past. But when they let go and trust, they step into a reality where anything is possible. This is where creativity flourishes, where intuition strengthens, and where life begins to unfold in ways that defy logic. The greatest obstacle to surrender is fear. Fear of failure, fear of making the wrong decision, fear of losing what feels safe. But fear is simply a projection of the mind, a story created based on past experiences. The unknown itself is neutral. It is neither good nor bad, safe nor dangerous. It is only the meaning that a person assigns to it that determines their experience. If they approach the unknown with fear, they will experience anxiety and resistance. But if they approach it with curiosity and trust, they will experience expansion and discovery. One of the ways to cultivate surrender is through presence. When someone is fully present in the moment, they are no longer trapped in thoughts of the past or worries about the future. They are simply here, now, open to whatever life is bringing them. This state of presence allows them to navigate the unknown with grace rather than fear. Instead of trying to control the future, they focus on how they are being in the present moment, how they are thinking, feeling, and showing up in their life. The more they align their energy with trust and openness, the more effortlessly life unfolds. Another way to practice surrender is by releasing attachment to outcomes. Most people suffer because they are attached to a specific result. They believe that things must happen a certain way in a certain timeline, or they will not be happy. But this attachment creates tension and resistance, often pushing away the very things they desire. True surrender means allowing life to unfold as it is meant to, trusting that what is truly aligned will come in the right way and at the right time. It means releasing the need to force outcomes and instead aligning with the energy of flow. Surrender also requires faith, not blind faith in something external, but faith in oneself and the intelligence of life. It is the deep knowing that even when things do not go as planned, they are unfolding exactly as they should. It is the ability to see obstacles not as failures, but as redirections. It is the willingness to trust that the unknown holds something greater than anything the mind could have predicted. This level of trust is what allows people to step into the extraordinary, to experience synchronicities, opportunities, and transformations that seem almost magical. The moment a person surrenders, they release the weight of control and step into a new way of being. They no longer waste energy resisting change or trying to force life into a predetermined shape. Instead, they align with the natural flow of life, allowing it to guide them toward their highest potential. The unknown, rather than being something to fear, becomes a space of infinite possibility. The greatest transformation of your life begins the moment you decide to break free from the limitations of your past and step into the unknown with trust, gratitude, and presence. Everything you seek, change, growth, abundance, fulfillment, is not something you find outside of yourself. It is something you create from within. By mastering your thoughts, elevating your emotions, and surrendering to the infinite possibilities that exist beyond what you can see, you align yourself with the future you desire. You are not bound by your old habits, nor are you a victim of your circumstances. You are a creator, capable of shaping your reality with every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every action you take. When you begin to live in the present moment, cultivate deep gratitude and embrace the unknown with trust instead of fear, you unlock a new world of possibilities. The time to step into your power is now. The time to rewrite your future is now. The time to become the person you were always meant to be is now. Good luck on your journey of transformation. Trust yourself, stay present, and never stop expanding into the limitless potential that already exists within you. Thank you.